How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the fitness podcast slash YouTube channel. Today, I wanted to talk about celebrating your milestones. So let's go. But before we get into celebrating your milestones, I wanted to talk a little bit about today's workout. Today was actually a chest day in the gym for me. Mondays are chest days. And I typically start out with like a flat bench, but today I actually opted out of doing flat bench press. I was getting a lot of what's it called? Like feeling like elbow pains or tension in my right elbow. So I decided, well, let me get away from that. Let me get away from doing flat bench press because maybe it's something that's just a little bit too trying on my joint right now. And I ended up moving over to a bench press machine. Now, this isn't like your typical machine where you have the pins and those square plates or rectangle plates that you pull the pin out and you put the pin into the desired weight. This is actually a machine where you can stack plates on it as well. Now, it moves on a fulcrum, and when you place the weights on, I'm able to then press it like a regular bench press. However, the difference with this machine is that whatever this weight that I'm pushing is, it feels a heck of a lot lighter than whatever the weight I can press on a standard flat bench press. Now, maybe this is primarily in part due to the fact that I'm not implementing a lot of my stabilizer muscles. Like when you do perform a flat bench press, I'm not really sure, but all I know is that when I was pushing this weight to this morning, it felt a heck of a lot lighter. Now, my flat bench press, when I left off, I had a 45 and a 35-pound plate on each side. And that felt relatively challenging for me. I was doing 3 sets of 5 at that weight. And on my third set, I was pretty toasted. Like I was still able to press it, but I was feeling a lot of discomfort and pain in my right elbow. So I wasn't able to continue to do that. Now today, when I went into the gym, I pressed the same amount of weight with a 45 and a 35 on each side. However, these levers, they don't move independently from one another. So it's more like your dominant arm can still dominate and press the weight up. So with that, I had a 45 and a 35 pound on each side, and it felt a heck of a lot lighter. I was able to do it for 3 sets of 10, which to me, it's like, okay, something in here then is not the same. And I'd have to attribute it to maybe stabilizer muscles not coming into play. So after that, I moved to my incline dumbbell bench press, which is one of my favorite movements. Back in like my heyday, I would say I was able to press at least 105 or maybe 110-pound dumbbells. I'd have to refer back to my weightlifting log on that one to confirm, but I think I was pushing, I'd say at most, guarantee you 100-pound dumbbells for sets of 10. Now I've ranked back and getting back into this, and I am currently pushing 80-pound dumbbells. Today, by the time I reached my third set, it felt relatively challenging. So I was only able to get seven reps, 2 sets of 10, and then my last set I got 7. And I'm gonna stay at that weight again next week. Hopefully that goes up. I know that because my flat bench press is a lot different than it was before. Excuse me. I know that because my flat bench press is a lot different than it was before. Now that I'm doing it on the machine, I should have the energy to push that 80-pound dumbbell for the full 3 sets of 10. So after that, I then move over to my single arm tricep cable work. And when I first started, I was doing it for three sets of 10. And then after a video collaboration on my Instagram, um, this guy that I was working out with, he actually implements higher reps. He does sets of 15. So always one open to learn new things and to be up for a new challenge. I decided for my arm work, my biceps and my triceps, to up that rep range to 15. So I did 3 sets for 15. Last week, I wasn't even able to do it at 20 pounds. I felt like I was trying to really force that weight, and I really wasn't getting the proper contraction in the muscle. And I really wasn't feeling it the way that I know I should be feeling it. So I dropped the weight down, and I was only able to do 1 set of 15. My second set, I want to say, was like 12 reps. I took a little bit longer of a break. And on my third set, I was able to get 13. Still not anywhere close to where I wanted it to be, but it was a starting point for me. So this week, I was able to knock out 3 sets at 15. And it felt pretty good. It felt pretty good to have been sort of humbled that first time at doing 15, and then today I was able to step up and really dominate the exercise. So after that, I moved to my cable chest flies. I've tried dumbbell chest flies. I've tried chest flies on the machine, but for some reason, cables, I feel it a lot more in that crease in the center of your chest. I feel the muscle really tightening, and then when in the like the reverse position, I really feel that muscle stretch. So it's one of my favorite chest work exercises right now. Sometimes on a day where I'm not feeling 100%, I'll actually warm up with some really light chest flies before getting into my bench work. And then I finished out the day. Before I finished out the day, that actually leads me to today's topic of celebrating your milestones. Now, back in high school, when I was doing the football training, I remember I would have to wait outside the gym during summer training, and they had what's called like just two bars set up, and I didn't know if they were legitimately for dips or if it was just like, I don't know, like a really large bike rack. For all I knew, it was not for what I was using it for. And while waiting outside for the locker room to open up, I would just do dips. And it was one of my favorite exercises at the time. Still is to this day. So flash forward to, I want to say 2011-ish, when I'm living in Southern California and I'm getting into bodybuilding for the first time. I'm just slamming out dips like every chest day, like 3 sets of 10. I even move up to like weighted dips, and I even have the weight belt that you can, with the chain that you can stack a plate on, or more if you're really going ham. But dips were my bread and butter. I love doing dips, filling just the tricep and the chest work, like the whole nine. And then the dad life kicks in. You know, you have a little one, takes time away from the gym, pack on a few pounds, and I am able to do dips, but it just looks ridiculous. Like my whole body's just going into convulsions. It looks like I don't have control of the movement or of my own muscles. So at most, I was able to do 2. And this was when I got the garage gym set up and I was getting back into the swing of things. So I purchased some resistance bands because when I was in CrossFit, resistance bands were what we used to help bring up our pull-up game. There's a lot of us out there who cannot even do a single unassisted pull-up. So resistance bands help a lot in building up that initial movement strength and taking some of the weight, some of the body weight off of yourself. So I implemented that same sort of tactic when doing dips. And I was using just some resistance bands that you can pick up at your local Dick's Sporting Goods. They're the black ones. They're a little thick. I'm not exactly sure how much weight they take off, but I was using 2 of them. So if that's any indication to you guys, like I was a pretty big guy before I really started getting back into the swing of things. And yeah, I was able to do like 5 assisted dips, like 3 sets of 5. And even then, my body was shaky. I wasn't really in control of what I was doing. Like the muscles, they were working, but s- sort of just by memory kind of. And so today, after my chest day, it my chest didn't feel fatigued because when I moved from doing a barbell bench press in the flat position to then doing an incline dumbbell bench press, um, well, instead of doing a barbell bench press, now I'm doing a bench press on a machine. My chest didn't really feel as fatigued as it would on a normal Monday for me. So with that, I took that little bit of extra energy and I headed upstairs to where our dip machine is located. Our dip station, I guess, is located at the gym that I attend. And I figured, why not give it a shot? And it takes a lot to step up to something that early on, either you can't do it or you've had a hard time in the past doing it. So it took a little bit of mental preparation before approaching the equipment. Because for me, it's not really like I go in there and I just slay every day. For me, it's like it's more a mental thing. My workouts can range from early in the mornings to late at night, depending on when I have time to go in there. So if it's early in the morning or if it's really late at night, sometimes I'm really fatigued and I have to mentally prepare myself before performing a movement because I don't want to injure myself doing something, just jumping right into it, just jumping off into the deep end. So I stood in front of the machine for a little bit, took a sip of my pre workout because I do sip on that sometimes, and I stepped up to the plate and I was able to slam out 5 unassisted dips for 3 sets of 5. I probably could have did more, but again, because of my elbow issue, I'm thinking about it like this is a marathon, not a race. I'm in no rush, so I don't want to find myself in a position where I'm going to injure myself. And pushing through some of these things, especially early on. I'm not even 3 months into the game yet, and I don't want to be like a lot of athletic injuries can occur in that first 1 to 2 month window when a lot of people feel like, okay, I'm back in the rhythm of things. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna press hard, and there you go. You end up hurting yourself, and now you're out of the gym for a little bit. So I took it easy. I listened to my body, and I did 3 sets of 5 at body weight, which, well, as I stated in my previous podcast, what it is, I'm gonna be throwing out body weight in every single episode. So, but yeah, I was pretty happy in that moment. I let my coworker know when I got to work because he's kind of like my checks and balance. He hits me up and he's like, "So how was the gym? Did you hit the gym this morning?" And it's good to have those people in your life, those motivators. And so I let him know what's up. I told him, I got five dips in today, unassisted. And as cheesy as it sounds, it's like, well, both he and I were big boys looking to get small. We're looking to drop some of the excess weight. I mean, that's a big deal. I don't know if he's attempted dips yet himself, but he mentioned to me that in high school when he was playing sports, dips was like one of his favorite exercises as well. So you have to take these milestones as they come and celebrate them and really enjoy those moments. I mean, today was a milestone for me. Dips used to be my bread and butter as well back in my younger years. And even in my first time around bodybuilding and doing CrossFit and powerlifting, I was performing dips at a rate with which I was really pleased with. So it was really discerning coming back into things and not being able to do a dip, not be able to do it the way I used to do it. So today, the fact that I was able to get 3 sets of 5 unassisted, I mean, it's a small feat for me. I'm humbled by it because of where I know I've been and where I'm at now. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to enjoy it. And next Monday, I'm looking forward to performing some more dips and hopefully making progress on that milestone. Now, each one of you guys, and as well as myself, I have these milestones that I've set in place for certain lifts. I don't mention them all the time. I'm not going to bring them up every single episode or let you guys know what they all are. But as they come up, I'll be sure to do podcasts about them, or I'll be sure to make a video about them and share with you guys sort of the milestones that I hit. Because you want to talk about pulling 405 or pulling 500, I've done it. You want to talk about squatting 405 or even more, I've done it. I mean, these are things that I've been there and I've done that. But right now, I'm humbled to be on the road to getting to those again and celebrating those milestones once again, because I do look forward to pulling 500 off the floor with a conventional deadlift. Now in competition, in a competition setting, that's not really that much. For a guy my size, people pull more. But for me, that's a sizable number. That's something to aim for. 405 back squat. That's a sizable number. That's something to aim for. Your numbers may be different, but that doesn't belittle them compared to anybody else's. We all have our own milestones and we're all going to reach them at our own pace. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this podcast. We're in a different location today. Today we're actually in the office, or I'm going to edit this podcast / video / vlog / whatever you want to call it. It goes up onto iTunes as a podcast, and I do post the videos to my YouTube as a video. So this is sort of the archival version, something for me to go back to and rip the audio for later uses. Because my wife, she wants me to take pictures of my progress. I guess just doing videos, I can see it. I can see it over time, either my face slimming or my mood, however I may feel that day. Again, it's all just a day by day, respecting the process and going through things one step at a time, step by step. So, all right, you guys. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. If you're catching me on YouTube, be sure to leave a like. Leave a comment in the section down below. Tell me what you guys think, or if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about or touch on, or any questions for me. For social medias, you can find me on my Instagram at Ramon_Campamore. That's CAMPOAMOR. And you can now find the podcast, which these will be older episodes. The episode you guys are watching right now won't be on the podcast, but you can actually find the podcast. Just search for Ramon Campamore. I believe it's just Ramon Campamore. You can search that. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on the Google Play Store. I'm on Apple, iTunes. So yeah, you guys check it out. Let me know what you think, and feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I don't really use any of the other social media platforms right now because I'm getting older. I'm a father. I don't really have time for all these social media platforms. So Instagram is sort of my stomping ground, my realm right now. But again, thank you guys, and I'll check you in the next one. See ya.